So let's start at the end of our mats. So I just have to work with the visual. You'll see part of me. So just start standing at the end of your mat and just look down at your feet and check that the middle of your feet are parallel. And the balls of your feet are about an inch, inch and a half, a couple of centimetres apart, and the heels of your feet are a bit wider. So that will make your knees feel like they're rolling in. So I want you just to clench your buttocks and pull your knees apart and feel the arches lift up. And then release and just feel that the arches roll in a bit and the knees roll in. Clench the buttocks and tense your tummy as well and lift your chest up and then release. And then clench your buttocks again and squeezing, opening those thighs apart, lifting those arches up, turning those knees around to the outside and release. So you just feel your knees turning out, clenching the buttocks, pulling the inside of your thighs around, and then roll your shoulders back. And roll your shoulders back. And release your buttocks and release your shoulders. And then clench your buttocks, so you're pushing into your pubic area, your pelvic area, pulling those knees apart, squeezing with the bum, drawing in the core, as if you're stopping yourself having a wee, and rolling those shoulders. Rolling those shoulders and then release everything. And now we're going to clench the buttocks, turning the inside of the thighs towards the front, keeping that big toe on the ground, letting that arch lift up. Feeling the pressure evenly under both feet, drawing in the core, rolling those shoulders, and spread those toes. Roll those shoulders and spread those toes, and just rocking forwards and backwards on your feet. Forwards and backwards, and then come to rest in the middle position. And take those shoulder rolls bigger and let the arms join in too. Big circles with those arms all the way up to the sky, all the way out wide and round, all the way up to the sky, and leave them up in the sky. Reaching up, keep that bum clenched and keep those inner thighs turned forward, the knees turned forwards, the soles of your feet flat on the floor, push those hands up high. Reaching those arms out wide, chin into the chest and roll down to the floor. Roll all the way down to the floor. Roll all the way down. Hands down on the floor. Soften those knees and push that tailbone up into the sky. Push that tailbone up into the sky. And stretch. And breathe. Big breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in. Big breath out. And then reach your hands up onto your knees and just stretch the torso long and horizontal to the floor. Push those knees back, lengthen the head away from the tailbone so that you're horizontal to the floor. And then breathing in, breathe out and let yourself fold forward, drop the head down and let the arms hang. And then breathing in, breathe out and roll yourself all the way up to vertical, all the way up high, squeezing with the bum, pushing into that pelvis, drawing in that core, rolling those shoulders back, big circles with those arms. Big circles with those arms, and then leave the arms up high. Put the hands together, push them up to the sky, reaching them back, take your eyes up to your hands, and then take your arms out wide, chin into the chest, and roll all the way down again. Roll all the way down, loosen that neck, just let it rock from side to side. Breathing in, on the out breath, soften the knees, and push that tailbone up high. Bring that tummy button down to the thigh and let your head hang. Breathing in and out. Pop your hands on your thighs. Lift your upper body up to horizontal. And then just move your feet a bit wider apart and drop that left shoulder down towards the floor and turn the right shoulder up. So we're turning the ribs. pushing off my left hand, and then come back down looking to the floor, and then drop that right shoulder down and turn to the left hand side, pushing off my right hand. And then come back down looking to the floor, drop those hands down towards the ground and walk your hands along the floor into that down dog position. So soften those knees in this down dog position, middle fingers parallel if you can. If your hands aren't slipping on the floor, keep those middle fingers parallel. Pull the tummy button down towards the thighs and push those knees backwards to straighten those legs. Armpits down towards the toes. Lengthen the tailbone away from the balls of your hands. Breathing in and out. Bring yourself over into the press up or plank position. Roll those shoulders back, lengthen your body. Drawing in that core. Big breath in and breathe out. Drop your knees to the ground, come onto all fours. Flatten your toes so the tops of your feet are on the ground. Pushing the middle of your back up to the sky, taking your eyes down towards your knees, stretching up. And then breathing in, and on the out breath, push the tummy down to the floor, bring the eyes up, spread your buttocks. Breathing in, push yourself up into the cat, eyes to the floor. And then lower yourself down, spreading those buttocks, bringing those eyes up high. Bring yourself into the neutral position and glide your bum backwards towards your feet, keeping your spine in neutral, horizontal to the ground. And then come back up again. So not child pose, don't let the pelvis tip. Gliding back, gliding that bum backwards. And then coming back up onto all fours. Neutral spine, gliding that bum backwards. And coming back up onto all fours. Turn that left hand palm up and slide it under your right armpit. Pushing through to thread the needle, pushing off that right hand and pushing that left hand through. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Pushing off that right hand, come back up onto all fours. Rolling those shoulders round and back. Take the right hand palm up and push that through under the left arm. Pushing the hand away, pushing off the left hand to turn the shoulder up towards the sky. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Come back up onto all fours and pull that roller in towards you. And we're going to start with the roller on our thighs. So move your legs backwards down the mat a little bit. Bring the roller to your knees. Come down onto your elbows and put the roller under your quads. So it's under your quads, and you're just going to roll from the top of the knee down to the, or up rather, to the base of your pelvis. So you're just going from the top of the knee down to the base of the pelvis. You're just staying with your feet pointing to the floor, just rolling forwards and backwards on that roller. If you want a bit more pressure on the roller, you can lift one leg up and cross it over the other one. That is quite tough. Okay, turn the inside of your feet towards the floor and take your legs a little bit further apart, and you'll feel it rolling up the inside of your thighs. And then turn your feet towards the ground again, so it comes to under the middle of our legs. Now I'm going to put my right hand on the floor and I'm going to turn over towards the left leg only. And I'm turning, I've pulled my right foot up, so I'm taking some of the load of my body onto my right foot and my right hand, so it's not quite so hard on my left leg. And I'm going onto the side of that leg. So I've gone on the front side of it, Now I'm going totally on the side of it. And I had to take my elbows off the floor. So I'm on both hands, going all the way onto the side of my leg. So I'm going right up into the edge of my hip on the side and all the way down to the side of my knee. So I find it easier to have my hands on the floor, not my elbows, when I do the side of my leg. And then rolling over, keep the roller moving on the outside of your leg. And then we're going to roll over towards the back of the leg. Over towards the back. Going through the buttock. Going through the buttock. And then just keep the roller at the buttock. So it's just rolling in that fleshy bum area. And I'm just rocking forwards and backwards through there. If we've been doing any walking up hills or pushing wheelbarrows, the bum gets a bit of a workout. And then do the full length. And then we can turn totally onto so we're sitting on it. Both legs have even weight, and we're just pushing the roller forwards and pulling our body back over it. All the way up the full length. And then start to turn over onto the right leg. So I'm going down the back side edge of it, and then I'm going onto both hands. And I bring my left leg in front of my right leg. So I go the full length down the outside. Try not to stay in one spot when you go down the outside. That iliotibial band likes a bit of movement. But then go into the top of your hip and your sort of lower back area of the edge of your hip. And then all the way down the length and back over onto the front of that leg. Rolling all the way up and down. Okay, drop your knees onto the floor and slide that roller out of the way. Slide that roller out of the way for a moment. So we're on all fours. And we're just going to arch the back up and sink the back down. Bring those eyes up to the sky. Arch the back up. Eyes to the knees. Sink the back down, eyes to the sky, and spread those buttocks. Slide your hands a bit forward on the mat. Turn the toes over so the soles of your feet are pointing to the floor. And then we're going to lift the buttocks up and come into down dog. So pushing armpits down towards the toes, drawing in that core. Pushing through the soles of the bases of your hands. Pushing those heels down, pushing that right heel down, pushing that left heel down. Make sure the balls of your feet are about an inch apart. Right heel down, left heel down. Spread your toes, come up onto both toes, and then push those heels back to the floor and free the toes. Tightening the thighs, rolling those knees outwards. Put the weight on the left foot, lift the right leg up in the air. Holding it tall, bend that knee and drop that foot over behind your bum and lifting that knee up. So we're opening up that hip. Breathing in and out. And then we're going to bring that foot through between our hands. We're not doing pigeon with it right now. Bring that foot through between our hands. So stretching from the right heel to the left heel. Pushing that left leg straight, lifting that left knee up by tightening the thigh and lowering the groin down towards the floor. Breathing in and breathing out. Pull that right leg out towards the side so the torso can drop in on the inside of your thigh. And then drop that left leg to the ground and turn the left toes over. Pushing that chest forwards and up. Stretching through that groin. Pushing that left leg back, pushing that right knee forward, pushing that groin down. Then take your hands up off the floor, glide your body back over your back knee, and pushing that bottom forward, tucking that bottom under rather, rolling those shoulders back and lengthening the head up to the ceiling. If you need a support, you can use the roller, tucking the bottom under, rolling the shoulders backwards, lifting that head up high, then glide the torso forward and feel the stretch in the front of this left leg. Feel the stretch in the front of that left leg. So visualize pulling this back knee towards the front knee. So we're tightening the front of that thigh, as if we're pulling those legs towards each other, but without actually moving them. Breathe in. On the out breath, let go of that tension and push that left hand up into the sky and reaching up. Take the torso forwards a little bit and feel the stretch all the way down that left hand side, through the armpit, down the side, through the hip, down the outside of that leg, into the knee, into the side of the knee. Reaching up and stretching, and then releasing. Bring that arm down onto the floor, one hand either side of that front foot, and just push your bottom back and your foot forward so that your back, the back leg, the left leg is vertical. My thigh is vertical. I'm not leaning back over my foot. I slide this right foot forward if I need to make this right leg straight. Point this right toe so that the foot's in line with the shin, and then pull that right toe towards your knee. Point the right toe away, keeping it in alignment. Pull it towards. If this is a bit too much tension, you can put your hand on your knee and you can raise your body up by putting the other hand on a table or something, or the roller. But try to get this front leg straight. Point the toe away. Pull that toe towards you. Walk your hands around towards the left-hand side. Push the bum over towards the right. Feel the stretch on the inner thigh. Using that breath, breathing out to release, walk those hands around to the outside of this right leg. Trying to rotate the body a bit to the left. You won't go very far. Try to get that front leg straight. If it's not straight, lift your body up a little bit. So your hands aren't on the floor, so I can lift up onto my knee here. I could put my right hand on a table as I turn. And then come back round to the centre. Back round to the centre. Breathing in. On the out breath, push that tailbone backwards. Pull those toes up towards you. Push those toes away. Okay, soften that knee and bring that foot backwards between your hands. So get that shin bone, the front shin bone vertical, and the back thigh is vertical. Turn the back toes over so the soles are up towards the floor, and lift your knee up off the ground, stretching in that inner thigh, stretching that pubic bone down towards the floor. Lengthen your head away from your heel, push your breastbone forward, breathing in and out. Breathing in on the next out breath, step the back foot forwards next to the front foot. Stepping those feet next to each other, just move them so they're an inch and a half apart. Hands are towards the floor, push that tailbone up. Breathing in and out, let that head hang down. Pushing those knees back, pop your hands on your thighs and lengthen the body into that vertical tabletop position. Breathing in on the out breath, let that body hang down to the floor. Breathing in on the out breath, roll that body up to straight. All the way up to the sky, bring those arms up above your head, fingers together, push those hands away from you. Breathing in on the out breath, bring those hands out wide, chin into the chest, and roll yourself all the way back down to the ground. Soften your knees if you need to, and loosen that neck. Breathing in and out. Breathing in, and on the out breath, step that right foot backwards. Get that right foot back. Pull this left knee out wide, so you've got space for your flesh to come down on the inside of your thigh. Push that right foot, right heel away from the left heel. Rolling those shoulders back, stretch that chest forward. Keeping that right thigh tight, keeping that right knee straight. Keeping that crutch lower into the floor. Good. Lengthening, and then drop that back knee to the ground, turn those back toes over, and keep that stretch going. Keep that stretch going, push that chest forward, feel the stretch in the front of your leg, drawing in the core, and then coming up onto your knee and your foot. Make sure that front leg is vertical, the shin bone is vertical. So rolling the shoulders back, tuck that pubic bone under you, tuck your tailbone forward. Drawing in your tummy, roll the shoulders back, lengthen the head up to the ceiling. Arms down by your side and glide forward, feel the stretch in the front of this hip and the front of this leg. Now visualize pulling the back knee towards the front heel. So we're trying to pull the heel and the knee towards each other without actually moving. Hold that tension. Breathing in. On the out breath, release the tension. Take the right arm up into the sky. Push that arm up and stretch further into the side here. Pushing that right arm up. Feel the stretch down through the armpit, down through that right hand side, through the pelvis, through the outside of the leg and through the outside of the knee. Breathing in. Pushing those fingers up all the time. Pushing them up. Pushing that arm out of your side, out of your shoulder. Breathing in, and then on the out breath, bring that out to the side and release. One hand either side of the front foot. Slide that foot forward. Take the bum so it's just back over the knee, so the back leg is vertical. Point those toes, make sure that that foot's in alignment with the shin. Pull those toes up towards the knee. Point those toes away. Lengthen your head from your tailbone. Try to be in neutral spine. Pull those toes towards. Point those toes away. Pull those toes towards. And walk your hand around towards the inside of your left leg, around towards that right leg. Lengthen your chest and feel the stretch on the inside of that thigh. And you can point that tone, change the tension. And you can flex that foot. And then walk those hands back towards this left leg. And cross that left leg over to the outside. And point those toes. And pull them up. Breathing in and out. And come back round to the centre. And push that tummy button down towards the thigh. Breathing in and out. Glide forward, put the sole of your foot on the floor, bend that knee and bring that foot back in between those hands. Turn that back toe over. Lift that back knee off the floor. And lengthen the crutch down towards the floor, opening those thighs. Breathing in. On the out breath, bring that back leg forward between those hands, making those feet about an inch and a half apart. Push the tailbone up into the sky, try to straighten those knees. Breathing in, loosen that head and neck. Breathing out, hands on the thighs, bring the body up into the tabletop, lengthen your head away from your tailbone. Try to straighten those knees if you can, but don't compromise the pelvis. It needs to stay in line with the spine. Don't let it lump up. And then roll down and stretch, and now you can straighten those thighs. Breathing in on the out breath, rolling that body all the way up to the sky, clenching with the bum, pulling those knees out. Feel the soles of your feet, the arches are up as we clench our bum. Bring those arms out wide all the way up to the sky. Palms together, pushing up, clenching with the bum. Keep the big toes on the floor. Little toes on the floor. Keep the same weight under that ball of your foot, but keep your bum clenched so your knees are turned out. Tighten the tummy, reaching up and back with those hands. Breathing in on the out breath, arms back down by your side. Chin into the chest and roll yourself all the way back down again. Breathing in and out. Step your left foot back, stretching that groin. And step that right foot back. Come into that down dog position. Come into that down dog, so soft knees. Soft knees, pushing those knees back towards the floor. Right heel down, left heel down. Lift those toes up, tighten the tummy, bring it down towards those thighs. Swing yourself down into the press up position, lengthen your head away from your heels. Breathing in. On the out breath, drop those knees to the floor. Lower your head and chest all the way down to the ground and come up in that cobra position. Let those forearms lie on the floor and pull yourself up into the cobra. Putting those shoulders back, drawing in the core, tighten the bum, lengthen the legs. Pulling your chest forward as if you're trying to slide forwards on the floor. Tummy buttons elevated, resting on the pubic bone, and then lower back down to the floor. Breathing in, breathing out. Lift yourself back up into that cobra. Tighten the bum, lengthen the legs so my knees and feet are off the floor. Pulling those elbows back towards the waist, drawing in the tummy, pushing that chest forward. Pushing that chest forward, breathing in and out and release. Turning those back toes over. Bending my elbows, putting my hands down by my chest. I'm going to leaving my body all the way up off the floor, back onto all fours. Go back into child pose. Back into child pose, stretch those armpits. Letting that body release. Come back up onto all fours. Grab your roller. And then you're going to sit down on the floor with the roller under the bottom ribs. Laying back with the roller under the bottom ribs. Feet flat on the floor with the knees bent. And we're just going to lay over that roller and stretch. And then come back up. And then we're going to move the roller up towards the shoulders a bit. Breathing in on the out breath, laying over that roller. Let the head go back to the floor and then peel back up again. And then move the roller up a bit. And lay, taking hold of the head, supporting the head and neck. Lay and stretch over that roller. Arching the lower back up as well, lengthening the body. And then lift that bum up off the floor and then just roll the roller from the shoulders down to the bottom ribs. Nice and slow and controlled. Going a little bit over onto the left-hand side. And a little bit over onto the right-hand side. I'm supporting my head and neck with my hands. So moving that roller the full length of my ribs. And like I said, you can go where you need to go. So going up and down a bit on the right, up and down a little bit on the left. Moving your hips around in order to get that whole spine rolled. Good, lengthening that head and neck. And then dropping yourself onto your left hip. Take the roller up under the left armpit and just roll through there. Down that shoulder blade. Good. And then drop that left hip on the floor and go up and down the middle of your back. 2 up and downs there, and then we'll go over onto the right hand shoulder armpit. So dropping the right hip on the ground and going up and down through this right armpit. All the way down, all the way up. And then pop the bum on the floor. And do the full length of your spine one more time. Really stretching and opening it. And then put the bum on the floor, lift the body up, and come off your roller and move that out of the way. So coming back over onto all fours. We're going to hands under the shoulders, middle fingers are parallel. Knees under the hips, feet parallel to the knees. Sink that body down, bring those eyes to the sky. Breathing in on the out breath, arch that body up. Push the middle of the back right up, looking down towards your knees. Come into neutral, turn those toes over, soles to the floor, breathing in, spreading those buttocks. Pulling those knees apart on the ground, take hold of the feet, push the feet apart on the ground and push up into down dog. So keeping those thighs turning outwards, keeping those glutes engaged, pushing those knees back. Taking the tummy button down towards your knees, taking your armpits down towards your toes, loosen that head and neck. Bring yourself forwards into the press up position. Lengthen that head away from the tailbone, clench the bum. Dropping those knees to the floor, lowering yourself all the way down to the ground. Toes turn over, keep those hands there. Heel up into that up dog. Heeling up onto your knees. Shoulders back and down, drawing in that tummy. Lengthen the head and neck. Keeping those shoulders down. Turning those toes over on the knees, lift the knees off the ground and push the bottom up into the sky. Push the bottom up into the sky, back into down dog. Back into down dog, push that tailbone up, loosen that head and neck. Push the right heel down, push the left heel down. Right heel down, left heel, pushing those armpits towards the toes. Breathing in. On the out breath, coming back over into that plank. Back over into that plank. Shoulders back and down, turn the inside of your elbows forward. Drop your knees to the floor. Lower your body down in that press up. Turn the toes over. Breathing in on the out breath, tighten the bum, lengthen those legs away. Roll those shoulders back and down. Pushing off those hands, peeling up, keeping the tummy button elevated, coming back up onto your pubic bone, and then up onto your knees, and then tighten those knees, lifting them off the ground, dropping the knees down if you want, or rolling over your toes. Either way, come so the soles of your feet are on the floor. Then bum up into the sky and back into that down dog position. Back into that down dog position. Pushing those armpits down towards the toes, pushing the tummy button to the thighs. Loosen that head and neck. Straighten the right leg backwards. Straighten the left leg backwards. Pushing those heels down. Taking the weight on the left foot, bring that right foot up into the sky. Bend the knee. Rotate the thigh so the foot drops behind you and the knee comes up towards the sky. Pushing off both hands, breathing in on the out breath, swing that right leg forward so the foot's next to the left hand into the pigeon. Dropping that foot down. Turn the back toes over, lengthen that back leg away and lower yourself onto your elbows on the floor. Breathing in and out. Stretching that body, breathing in and out. Lowering down onto your tummy if you can. Breathing in and out. And then walking those hands back towards this front leg. One hand on the knee, one hand on the ankle. Roll the shoulders up to the ears, pull them down the back. Pushing both knees into the floor, take your hands off the ground. If you can, holding your hands together behind you and pushing them down towards the feet. Pushing off the left knee, pushing off the right knee. Supporting the body so the pelvis stays horizontal. Pulling those shoulders down, lengthen that head away from the shoulders. Release those hands. Bring them back onto the thigh and lower yourself back down onto the ground. Breathing in and out. Lowering that chest down. Breathing in and out. And then walking those hands back towards this front leg. One hand either side of it. Turn those back toes over. Lift that back knee up off the ground. And push that bum up into the sky. And bring your feet back next to each other in the down dog position. So I am gripping the edge of my mat because my hands are slipping a bit. Armpits down towards my toes. Bending my knees. Push my heels back into the floor and lengthen my legs and straighten them. So I get in the neutral spine position, tailbone up into the sky. I soften the knees to get there. Once I'm in neutral spine, then I straighten my legs. Right heel down, left heel down, both heels down. Bring that left leg straight up into the air. Bend the knee. Drop the foot down towards the floor behind that right leg. Tighten that right knee. Keep that knee turned out, lifting the left knee to the sky. Breathing in on the out breath, swing that left leg through, bringing the foot next to the right hand. Drop the right knee to the floor, down into the cushion. Lengthen that right leg away and come down onto your elbows. Feel that stretch in the right bum. Come down onto your chest if you can. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. And then walk your hands back towards this front leg. One hand on the knee, one hand on the ankle. Roll those shoulders back and down. Lengthen that right leg away from you. Breathing in on the out breath, push the knees into the floor and take the hands off that front leg if you can. Holding the hands behind you if you can. Pushing those hands away from the shoulders, opening up that chest. Pushing the head away from the shoulders. Pushing off that right knee, pushing off that left knee. Breathing in and out, lengthening. And then release those hands, pop them back on the front leg and lower back down to the ground. Lower back down. So if you don't take your hands off your leg, that's fine. But try to push the knees into the ground because the release here comes from the tension of holding the body. So the fact that it has to hold and then you release when you're lying here. Breathing in, breathing out, and let it go. Okay, walk your hands back towards this front leg. One hand by the foot, one hand by the knee. Turn the back toes over. Breathing in. Tense that back leg and lift the knee off the floor. And then pushing the body up into that down dog position again. So again, I soften my knees, put my feet an inch or so apart. Drop my tummy button to my thighs, loosen my head and neck. Get that neutral spine, armpits down towards the floor. Then I push my right heel down. Then I push my left heel down. Then I push my right heel down. Then my left heel. Then both heels down and I wiggle my toes. Loosen the head and neck. Come back over into the press up position. Lengthen my head away from my tailbone. Lengthen my head away from my heels. Tense my bum, tighten my thighs. Breathing in, on the out breath, knees to the floor and lower yourself all the way down to the ground. Turn the toes over and lifting up into that up dog position. Lifting into that up dog, shoulders back and down, opening that chest, drawing that tummy in, tensing those thighs. Tensing those thighs and lifting the knees off the floor. Lower the knees to the ground and go back into child pose. Back into child pose. Pulling those hands forward on the floor. Dropping that bum backwards, walking those hands to the left-hand side of the mat. And then walking those hands to the right-hand side of the mat. Coming back to center. Sliding your hands forward on the mat and come down onto your tummy. Bring your arms down by your side, forehead on the ground. Drawing in the core, push the pubic bone into the ground, tense the bum. Lengthen those legs, tighten the thighs so they're straight. Drawing in the tummy, lifting the tummy button off the ground. Then rolling the shoulders up to the ears, up to the sky. Push that bottom rib into the floor and lower the shoulders to the floor. Roll the shoulders up to the ears, up to the sky. Keep them up there and bring those arms up. So I've lengthened my legs. My knees and feet are light on the floor. My thighs are touching the ground. My shoulders are released. I'm pushing my shoulders away from me. Drawing in my tummy, my arms are back above, my hands are above my shoulders. Breathing in on the out breath, pulse those arms 3 times up. 3, 2, 1. Hold them there and release them down to the ground. Breathing in on the out breath, roll the shoulders up to the ears, up to the sky. Lengthen those hands and arms away from you. Drawing in that core, pulse those arms up. 3, 2, 1. Roll the shoulders down to the ground. Breathing in on the out breath, lengthen the legs, roll the shoulders up to the ears, up to the sky. Straighten those arms, lengthen those legs, drawing in that tummy. Make sure it's off the floor. Passing those arms up. 3, 2, 1. Bring them all the way around and down. Breathing in. On the out breath, roll those shoulders up to the ears, up to the sky. Bring those arms up, lengthen those legs, and bring that head up off the floor too. Eyes looking straight down though. Drawing in the core. Clenching the bum, lift that left leg up 3 times. 2 times. 1. Hold it there. Bring the right leg. 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Now bring those arms up. 3, 2, 1. And release. Breathing in on the out breath, rolling the shoulders up to the ears, up to the sky. Bring those arms up, drawing in the core, lengthen those legs. Point those toes and have both knees and feet off the ground. Bring the head up. And pulsing the arms and both legs. 3, 2, 1, and hold. Clench the bum. Breathing in. Pulsing up. 3, 2, 1, and hold. And lower to the floor. Bring those hands around so the elbows are bent. Fingers are near to your eyes. Elbows down by your waist or towards your waist. Breathing in on the out breath. Coming up into that cobra. Lengthen that head away, point those toes, drawing in the core, pulling that chest forward on the floor, and release. And again, breathing in. Breathing out, pulling that chest forward, lengthening those legs, tightening with that bum, and release. Lower that forehead on the ground. Take your right foot, bend the knee, take the right foot in the right hand, left foot in the left hand. Forehead's on the ground, knees are on the ground, tummy's lifted a bit. Breathing in. On the out breath, push those feet away from you, and lift those knees up off the ground. Breathing in. On the out breath, lift those knees up high and lower, clenching the bum. Breathing in. Breathe out, clench the bum, lift the upper body up, pushing those feet and knees away, the knees stay on the floor if they can. Breathing in on the out breath, push, and then release. Breathing in on the out breath, push those feet away, lift the knees up only. Knees up only, stretching, relax those shoulders down, clench the bum and lift. And release, breathing in. On the out breath, the upper body comes up, pushing those feet away, lifting up the chest, clenching, pushing, and release. Okay, this time we lift the legs and the upper body, breathing in. Breathing out, drawing the tummy, push those feet away, lift the upper body up, lift the legs up. Breathing in on the out breath, push those feet to the sky, release those shoulders, and lower yourself a bit back down and let go of those legs. Put those hands back next to your ribs on the floor, in between your ribs and your bra strap, bottom ribs, breathing in. Breathing out, roll the shoulders back, lengthen those legs, push yourself all the way up onto your knees. All the way up onto your knees, stretching that chest forward, drawing in that tummy, bum up in the air and go back into child pose. All the way back into child pose, reaching and stretching. Breathing in and out. Come back up onto all fours. Come back up onto all fours. Arch that back up, eyes to the knees. Sink that back down, eyes to the sky. Turn yourself so your right ear goes towards your right hip. Stretching that left hand side. Turn yourself so your left ear goes to your left hip, stretching that right hand side. Come back to center, walk your knees forwards, sit yourself down on the mat. Pushing those heels out towards the end, off the end of the mat. Rocking on those seat bones so you feel them evenly under the floor. Come to a middle position. Roll those shoulders. Bring those arms up to the sky. All the way up, hands above your head, pushing the chest forward, pushing those seat bones into the ground. Reaching those fingers up, pushing those heels away. Bring those arms to horizontal. Roll yourself back down to the floor to flat. Roll yourself back down. Take those arms all the way over your head. Push your right hand away from your right foot. And your left hand away from your left foot. Both hands from both feet. And then take those fingers all the way up to the sky. Chin into the chest. And roll yourself all the way back up and reach to those toes. Reaching to those toes. Breathing in, put the soles of your hands and the soles of your feet together. Push your toes away from you. Stretch those armpits. Push the right foot away, get more stretch on the right. Put the left foot away, get more stretch on the left. Release those toes, take the hands off. Bring yourself back up to vertical. Hold behind your thighs and pull forward onto your middle bottom. Put your hands on the floor, lift that torso up off the ground, rest it down on that middle bum. Take those arms out wide, hands above your head, touch your forehead with your thumbs, and then push those fingers up to the sky, breathing in and breathing out, reaching, pushing those knees in the floor. Bring those arms back down by your side, rest them on your thighs, and roll your shoulders. Well done. We can do a little turn. Ooh. Yeah, we didn't do too much rotation. That was, we did a bit of it, didn't we? Not too much. Well done.